All right, so today I can solve equations by combining like terms and using distributive property. Let's get that. All right, so solve for the missing variable by combining like terms. All right, so I'm gonna do a couple of these by hand, and when we get to some other ones, I'll show you how to do this by Desmos. What we know if we're combining like terms, right? We're looking for things that are on the same team. This is our X team. So 5x plus 2x, right? 5 plus 2 is 7. Don't forget about your x, and that equals 49. All we want to do is get this x by itself, so we divide by its coefficient, or the number in front of it. And when we do so, we get x equals, you put 49 divided by 7 in Desmos, and we get 7. All right, so combining like terms, and then getting x by itself. All right, again, once we get to some of the more tricky ones, I'll show you how to do that algebraically, and then we'll hop into Desmos. So I have r. Hold on, before we start that, we know there's a 1 right here. So I have 1r. I also have this plus 4r. And I can't really combine anything else on this left-hand side. And I'm not going to worry about the right yet. So let's just roll with what we got. So 1 plus 4 is going to be 5r. And we're going to bring down everything we didn't use. All right, so what we have here now is just a two-step equation. All right, so I can't do anything with this 5r yet. But I want to get this 5r by itself. So I'm going to do the opposite of minus 1, which is plus 1. And when I do that, it'll cancel out on the left. Right, this cancels. And I will end up with 5r, bring down what we didn't use. And that's going to equal 25. All right, just like the last one, we're going to go, excuse me, we want to get r by itself. Well, what holds 5r together is multiplication, but we don't write it like that. We just write 5r. So we divide both sides by 5, and we'll get r equals 5. So you know what, maybe I'll do these first 4 by hand, and then I'll do the last 4 with Desmos, which will probably save us a lot of time. Actually, you know what? I'll break it up here. Let's do this one using Desmos, since this is kind of like 2 lessons in one. All right, so you guys have seen this before. We touched on it last week. So I'm going to go ahead and put the left-hand side of my equation in. That's 7a plus 1 plus 3. And then my right-hand side is just 18. And I want to put a equals. Well, I just want to test my answers. All right, so if I do a equals 2, you notice that I get 18 from my left and 18 from my right-hand side. So my answer is going to be 2. Now, a good test taker, you would test all the answers. Just to show you, look for the left, we get 46. The right, we get 18. So we know B is no good. D is a half. We get 7.5 for the left. For the right is 18. So they're not equal. So that's no good. And 22 divided by 7, you guys might recognize this number. But 26 for the left and 18 for the right, that is not equal. So all of those are not good choices. Now on a test, I would encourage you all to test all of your answers to make sure that you haven't made a mistake. But for the rest of this video, once I find the right answer, I'm not going to test the rest of them. All right, so again, let's hop into Desmos. Put the pen on the mouse pad. All right, so here my left-hand side is just 10. And my right-hand side is b plus 8 minus 6. My variable is b. That's going to equal. And I'm just going to test my answers. Let's try -4. Well, for my left-hand side, I have 10. That doesn't change because there's no variable attached to it. And my right-hand side is -2. So I know A is out. Let's try B, which is 8. Here we go. We got lucky. Left-hand side is 10. It stays 10. There's no variables attached. Our right-hand side becomes 10 because we put in 8 everywhere we saw a V. That's what Desmos does. So our correct answer is B. Whoops. Is B. Now I would encourage you to check C and D. But for us right now with the video, I will not. But you guys should, especially on a test. These questions should all be like no problem, easy answers. All right, moving on to this. We know how to combine like terms, but we also learned in unit 1 was the distributive property. So with that being said, step 1 when solving would be the distributive property. Step 2 would be combining like terms. And we touched on this a little bit in a lesson last week, I believe. So like I said, I'll show you how to do a couple by hand, and then we'll do some with using Desmos. You'll obviously see how much easier Desmos makes this. All right, first I'd like to point out there's a 1 here. So I need to distribute this positive 2 to my positive 1x and my positive 4. When I do that, I get 2 times 1, which is 2, but we cannot forget about the x. 2 times 4 is 8, and bring down what we didn't use, which is the right-hand side. Let me remind everybody, the left-hand side is what's to the left of the equals. The right-hand side is what's to the right of the equals. All right, our next step is to try and get this 2x by itself. We can't really do anything with the 2 or the x because they're attached together by multiplication, but we can certainly get rid of this positive 8, and we do that by subtraction. They will cancel out here, and if we do it to one side, we have to do it to the other. Bring down what we didn't use, which is 2x. 16 minus 8 is 8. All right. And from here, last step, we know that 2's held together, 2x is held together by multiplication, so the opposite of that is division. And when we do it to one side, we do it to the other. This will get our x by itself. 8 divided by 2 is just 4. Our answer is D. All right, do we have any combining like terms here? Didn't really look like it. All right, so let's try 1. There's definitely going to be some combining like terms here. All right, so again, I'm going to distribute first, distribute this 3, positive 3 to this positive 1x, and then to this positive 5. So 3 times 1 is 3. Don't forget about your x. 3 times a positive 5, don't forget about that sign, is a positive 15. And let's just bring down what we didn't use. All right, let's look. Do we have any terms? We're only looking on the left-hand side, especially because there's nothing we can really do on the right. It's just a constant, it's by itself. So are there any terms that we can combine? Well, it looks like we have an x team here. We have 3x and this negative 6x. Do not forget to grab that sign. So 3x minus 6x. You guys struggle here a little bit. Whoops. So we have this positive 3x minus 6x. All right. Well, the x's can't go away, so x is just going to come down. What is 3 minus 6? Put that in Desmos. It is negative 3. All right, so what we will have is a negative 3x, and then just bring down what we didn't use. This looks like it might be a little tricky. Let's see, negative 3x plus 15. We need this negative 3x to stay on the left, so we're going to subtract 15 from both sides. And whoops. These will cancel. We'll be left with negative 3x on this side. And a negative 33 on this side. And I actually don't have the right answer here, so this was good to do beforehand. We're going to divide by negative 3 on both sides to get that x by itself. And you'll see what we get is a positive 11. So let's just write a 1 here, and the answer is A. All right. So let's do the last 2 in Desmos. And what we have is to put the left-hand side in. Well, this one's really easy. The left-hand side is just 1, hit enter. And then put the right-hand side, which is 6 times 6b plus 1, plus 6, sorry, minus 5. And your variable is v, and we're just going to test our answers. So I'm going to go ahead and test 0 first. Let's see what we get here. Oh, I get 1 and negative 31. So not a good answer. Let's try negative 1/6. I get 1 and 25. Let's try positive 1/6. I get 1 and 37. So these are not equal. Let's try negative 5 divided by 6. You'll see that I get a 1 and a 1. Left and right side are equal. My correct answer is A. All right, and last but not least, again, Desmos for the win. We are going to go ahead and have 5x plus 2 parentheses x plus 10. And our right-hand side is just 83. So x is going to equal. And we're going to test some of these values. All right, well, I'm going to take an educated guess here and try 9, which saves us a little time. You can see that our left-hand side is 83. Our right-hand side is 83. Therefore, our correct answer is 9. If you guys have any questions, make sure you reach out to a teacher. Feel free to message me on Schoology or email. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow.